To test my entry-level consumer drones, I've come to Wilton Mill karting track to meet someone who likes to race. No, not them. Him! This is Brett Collis. He's part of Britain's X-Blades racing team, who are 3 times winners of the Drone Racing Champions League. He's just the man to help me really put these flying machines through their paces and find out which is best for wannabe amateur pilots. And the contenders are the Holy Stone HS720E. It weighs 495 grams and has a flight time of 23 minutes. A bit more pricey is the DJI Mini 2. Weighing in at just 242 grams, it can remain in flight for up to 31 minutes. The most expensive is the Parrot Anafi, which shoots slow-mo and hyperlapse, and its camera has a 3 times optical zoom. But which one will be flying high after my 3 tests? Test number 1 is build quality.
Well, let's start with the Holy Stone.
Seems pretty good. The arms obviously fold out like this. Makes it quite a bit smaller for portability when carrying. The camera up front looks quite protected here, which is good.
Next, it's the smallest and lightest drone on test, the DJI Mini 2.
So it uses a similar arm design, I guess, to the Holy Stone. I quite like the way that the rear arms lock in that way.
Last up, the Parrot Anafi, the most expensive drone on test.
They claim you can fly it in winds up to 31 miles an hour.
And quite a sleek design. It's got less drag on the arms. So I guess my biggest worry would be maybe that the gimbal out the front here, a bit more exposed than the other 2, but that does allow this to actually look up with the camera if you need to as well, which could be a good feature. I think this one looks the best overall. I like the arm mechanism on this. I think there's less chance of it getting damaged, and it's very quick to pack up.
So it's the Parrot for the win. Now on to the next test, camera quality. Each of our 3 drones comes with cameras that can shoot in 4K, which was a feature only available on bigger pro-level drones until now. So Brett's going to get them in the air and hit that record button. But of course, he needs a filming subject.
So, while I take on the track at ground level, Brett's going to be filming me from the air. Oh, it's rather wintry out here. Cold's getting in through me gloves.
First up in the air is the Holy Stone.
The Holy Stone's anti-shake camera has a Sony sensor with electronic image stabilization, which should help it handle any vibrations or fast movements.
But the Holy Stone proves anything but stable as Brett tries to keep up with me racing round the track.
When I'm turning the drone to try and track John, it's quite tricky and sometimes it will jerk itself up slightly.
And Brett's equally unimpressed with the video link between the drone and the controller.
I'm not very far away from it, and it's very laggy, which makes it hard to keep John in shot on the go-kart.
The Holy Stone doesn't seem to have much dynamic range either, leaving its footage looking rather washed out. From the cheapest on test to the lightest, the DJI Mini 2.
The DJI shoots in 4K resolution and you get a 2 times digital zoom at 4K, 4 times digital zoom at 1080p.
So the image is a lot smoother on this. It's a lot easier to track the subject. And the stabilization on the gimbal, even if I'm doing quite vicious flight maneuvers, it still keeps it smooth, which is really nice. Makes it a lot easier to track John on the go-kart here.
And there's a lot less lag on the DJI too.
So the video signal is a lot better here. Even when I'm in the far corner of the track, I can still keep John in range, no problem.
While the DJI footage can be dark at times, its colours are more vibrant, and it's much better at dealing with the bright sunlight than the Holy Stone. Finally, it's the most expensive on test, the Parrot Anafi.
I quite like the controls that you use. It's nice, smooth action.
And the Parrot's 3 times optical zoom is proving to be a hit.
That's quite nice. Obviously, sometimes you don't want to get super close to an object, but you can still track it nicely.
The 4K sensor also has impressive amounts of detail and doesn't suffer from washed-out skies. And while the DJI's colours are undoubtedly punchier, I think the more subtle and realistic palette of the Parrot, paired with its artsy feel, gives it the checkered flag and first place. So it's 2-0 to the Parrot going into our final, the most important test, flying ability.
So, I set up a drone obstacle course, which Brett will need to navigate with each of the drones while being timed.
Each drone will have to pass through a hoop, circle the palm tree and pass under a limbo bar before getting lost in smoke and then returning back to the start.
It's pretty obvious, I guess, that you've got to be able to control your drone effectively.
Yeah, so obviously in this obstacle course, we're looking for the drone to be really stable, make it easy for me to fly, and also interested in the latency of the video system. So wherever I can see what the objects I'm going through are will affect how quickly I can get through them.
First up in our time trial is the Holy Stone.
And we're off. The first obstacle is a hoop.
Surprisingly, even at slow speeds, Brett is having a hard time getting the Holy Stone through the hoop.
Is he going to go through there?
We're about to find out, aren't we, I think?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes! Now it's round the inflatable palm tree. Going
Line
under
up.
the limbo pole.
Down a bit. Through we go. Yep, we're
Well
through.
done.
Right, through the smoke.
Right.
And now press
Hit
return.
the home button.
All of the drones have a return to home feature, which automatically brings the drone back to the takeoff location.
And that's 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Now for the DJI.
The DJI has 3 flying modes: normal mode, cine mode and sports mode, which gives you extra speed and makes steering more nimble.
Ooh, go straight through the hoop. Very good.
Through the hoop.
No problems circling the palm tree. And it passes under the limbo pole without a drama.
Through the smoke.
Hit the home button.
Turning back towards us.
Yes. It's taking quite a long time to get down. Ooh, stop. That's 2:41. Actually, if you round it up, it's 2:42. So it's 2 seconds longer than the Holy Stone. Well, finally the parrot. Let's see whether it can beat 2 minutes 40.
Like the other drones on test, the Parrot has an auto takeoff function. And while you can plot routes using the app, in manual mode, Brett was struggling to navigate my obstacles.
Seems to be a slightly more leisurely run to me.
But once through the smoke, its return home feature seemed to be the quickest. But was it enough for it to take a clean sweep?
2 minutes 45. The slowest of the 3, but not by a huge margin.
While all 3 drones completed the course within 5 seconds of each other, it's the budget Holy Stone that just takes top spot on the podium for the flying test. But which drone reached the lofty heights of being crowned best value drone after a thorough day's testing?
Well, you've left us hanging there. What
Indeed.
is the best value drone?
Well, actually, surprisingly, perhaps, both Brett and I thought that overall the winner was the DJI, just shading it over the Parrot because of its flying abilities, its price, and also its camera.
And as people are getting more ambitious with their drones, the rules are changing as well. Isn't that right, John?
Indeed, new rules have just been announced, so we got in touch with the CAA to find the highlights. First of all, you need an operator ID to fly almost any drone. This is an identification code that you can stick on the drone itself. It costs £9 a year. And the second thing you need is a flyer ID. Now, this is free, but you do need to take a 30-minute online test.
This is all good to know, because if you don't abide by the rules, you can get fined, can't you, John?
That's correct, Craig.
OK, thanks for that.